And we have a man sitting there negotiating for us. And I'm going to do something or say something that I don't believe for a moment, but please, it's only for the purposes of argument. Okay, I believe I could prove beyond a doubt to any jury anywhere in the world that Biden has been paid enormous amounts of money. I have the receipts. I've got the money. I've got the documents. I've got everything, and I've had it for quite some time. And I've put it out for quite some time. And if you go look at my podcast, my first 9 podcasts, 8 of them prove that Biden has taken bribes. Now, in addition, the hard drive proves that Biden has taken a bare minimum of 21 million and probably more like 31 million from China. That he has gotten roughly half that. But let's assume for a moment that the money, let's assume for a moment this money stayed with his family, and that China gave his family $21 million over the last 5 years. Should that be the man negotiating for America against a very, very tough negotiator and murderer? Xi Jinping is a murderer. The man on the other side of the table, Joe Biden, is a stone cold killer. The guy on our side of the table, family compromised by Red China. His son was working for them. His son, by his own admission, was working with the spy master of China. His son, by anyone's acknowledgement or observation, for 2 years was exposed to top secret documents involving China and sent notes to them appearing to be copies of top secret documents that Joe Biden stole from either the White House or the Senate because he's not allowed to take them home. He was not president like Donald Trump was. And across the table from China, this is, of course, horrible for the United States. It's a horrible thing. And surrounding him are a bunch of people that are equally subservient and submissive to China. Blinken is the guy they've beaten up on any number of occasions. It's like the Manchurian Candidate scenes when they torture him. They bring him into a little room, beat the living daylights out of him. He just says, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. So you want an American program that should be presented? I'll give you an American program that should be presented. I don't know if you can see this. I wrote it out, actually, just a few minutes ago. Just the top 6 things I could think of. But, you go into a negotiation like this with a program. What's the program? One thing, he's going to stop, or he's going to try to stop the Chinese from developing the fentanyl precursors that they send to Mexico and have been doing for 20 years. And now in massive amounts since he's been in office, because he's opened the floodgates, right? On which they're making a fortune, right? On which they're making a fortune. And they are going to promise to help stop that. Now, they've promised that twice before. And it's gone to record levels after their promise. It was almost better when they didn't promise. Back before they promised, there was less fentanyl coming in than after they promised. You get it? So their promise is worth nothing. 0. Remember, trust but verify came from a man who was a president, not like this excuse we have, Joe Biden. Trust but verify would mean fentanyl, fine. We'll take your word on fentanyl. We'll put a year on it. We'll take a look a year from now, and we will see. Want to see if they can see this? I don't know. It might be too small.
That's good. Better now.
We'll see after a year. We'll see if there's been a decline in fentanyl. If there has sessions, as well as these other things that, of course, we need for our country. I mean, I'm not here to get you the things you want for your country. I'm here to get the things that we need for America. Now, of course, I would not be there, nor would President Trump, having gotten $31 million from them. Children have gotten $31 million from them, or relatives, because if they did, you would have put me in jail. I mean, they tried to put me in jail for being a lawyer. That would have been something worth putting me in jail for, not the frame up that they're trying to do on me now. But so you're going to reduce fentanyl, see? That's the best news I've gotten in a long time, pal. I tell you what, I got a couple of guys, they're going to go over there and they're going to watch, and you're going to open your books to them and we're going to watch you. I mean, we're even going to help you if you want. Oh, we won't help you. We'll just watch you, just gladly watch you reduce that fentanyl. And a year from now, when you reduce it, we'll meet again and we'll see if I give you a damn thing. Because, you promised me this 3 years ago and 2 years ago and a year ago, and it's just gone up to record numbers. I mean, this year we'll probably get 100 million of our people killed that you will have killed with fentanyl. And I'm a little tired of your killing Americans. Oh, and by the way, pal, you also killed a lot of us with COVID. Now, don't give me this crap that didn't come from you. You can tell that to the dopey liberals. You don't have to tell it to me. You're not going to tell me COVID around the world. You locked your damn country down. You kept all your people there. And then you sent them around the rest of the world so you could spread COVID so that China wouldn't be disadvantaged. That's the best interpretation of it, see? So here's what we want. We want compensation for that. We're going to have a commission. We're going to sit down. We're going to figure out how much you owe me for all the people that you killed in America and for all the damage you caused to their families. And I suggest the rest of the world should do the same thing, but I don't represent the rest of the world. I represent one country. I know, when Biden was here, he was on your side too. But now we have a president. And we want, we really would like a lot more because you kill so many of us. But we want compensation for those families. You're a very rich country. You got a lot of money. You're going to have to fork it up if you want to join the family of nations, be an outlaw killer, which is what you are right now. You're going to end the genocide of the Uyghurs immediately, or I'm not going to talk to you. None of this is going to happen. You're not going to get any relaxation of sanctions. In fact, if you walk out of here and you embarrass me and you don't agree, I'll double the sanctions. And I'll send your economy into hell, which is where it belongs because you kill so many of people. And then second, you're going to stop. I'm afraid we're going to have to stop this here. We'll put this off here. Ta-da, ta-da. Okay. That was Bernie Carrick. And you're going to have to end the genocide of the Uyghurs. If you don't want to call it genocide of the Christians, just stop killing them. All right. And stop taking over the church and appointing bishops. I mean, I'm not the Pope. And I don't know if the Pope goes along with you or not, because the Pope we got now is a little strange. But you don't get to appoint bishops in a church. But I'm not know if I can do much about that. But I sure as hell can make sure you don't kill Christians or Jews. But I don't think you have any Jews here. You probably killed them already. And, by the way, you got to stop killing the Falun Gong and taking their organs and selling them all over the world. That's a disgrace. That's an absolute disgrace. All those people are people who want to, and they won't submit to your homicidal ways. And you take them, you bring them into hospitals, and you pull out their kidneys. I mean, because you're savages. You want me to deal with you? Stop. That's what the sanctions are there for. And you walk out of here with no concessions on that, the sanctions can get heavier. And right now, you can go fool everybody else, but your economy sucks, see? That's why you're here. Your economy sucks. You're not growing at 10% anymore a long time ago. You're losing population. I don't know why you're so worried about it, but you're losing population. I mean, you kill so many of your people. Maybe if you hadn't killed all of them, you wouldn't be losing population, or you hadn't killed all those little girls. I'm not finished yet. You're going to withdraw from the South China Sea. Get the hell out of there and stop taking a land that belongs to Vietnam, Cambodia, Japan. Stop going around acting like a big bully, because I intend to reinvest in the military and frickin' wipe out your Navy, because embarrassingly, the anti-American traitors let your Navy get bigger than ours, and it ain't gonna be that way for very much longer. And by the way, my Navy's a lot smarter than yours even now. So don't test it, pal. Don't dare go near Taiwan. Just don't do it. Just leave Taiwan alone. And you're going to remove the Chinese police, like the one you had in New York, out. Now, I'm throwing them out, but you got to help me. Because if I find any more, I don't know, just put even more sanctions on you. You won't be able to. You won't be able to trade with. It just be you and Russia can trade back and forth. I mean, they're starving too. So between you and them, you'll just. Oh yeah, and support Iran. Because I'm going to put sanctions on them. Okay, and finally, stop requiring companies, American companies, that do business here to give you their intellectual property. Now they're a bunch of traders and they do it, but you're going to stop doing it. Because if you don't, they're going to stop doing business here, because I'm going to cut them off in America. Got it? So that's how you negotiate, Joe. But since you've been paid and bought by the other side, you're not coming back with any of that. The only thing on the table is that fentanyl thing, and he's lying to you about that. We all know that. It's a joke. In fact, when you say, when Z's going to work with you reducing fentanyl, they all should laugh. They should be like an episode of Saturday Night Live. They should just laugh at you and Z and say, you tricked us before on that one. That's just, you were doing it. In fact, Z, it'd be better if you don't promise, because every time it's gone up. So get the hell out of here, you lying son of a, you know what? You negotiate hard for your client. Now, you can be nice, you can be sweet, and you can trust but verify. Or maybe with China, you should just verify and verify. Forget the trust. I mean, they've already lost that, haven't they? But you wouldn't know that from Sleepy there. And by the way, has he fallen asleep, Ted, during the thing?
We're watching closely and placing bets on how long he'll last
that
at these
walk
events.
that he has looks like it's drug induced. They must have straightens him up. He's walking like, I don't know, like he's on stilts or something. Like they've inserted stilts into his legs. What is that walk? Is that a dementia walk or something? Or that isn't a normal human walk. Do you have a picture of him walking? I was watching earlier today when he met with Z, the way he was walking, he looked like, I've been in a lot of nursing homes and I've seen some guys in pretty bad shape. I never saw anything like this. Do you have anything? You have any film of him with Z that we can look at and do an examination of his his face and his legs and his.
Since then, key members of our teams have had important discussions on issues matters to both our nations and to the world. But as always, there's no substitute to face-to-face discussions. I've always found our discussions straightforward and frank, and I've always appreciated them. Mr. President, we know each other for a long time. We haven't always agreed, which was not a surprise to anyone.
I wonder what it's like for Z, having paid him all that money and there he is on the other side of the table, make him believe he represents America. It's like a fixed fight, You know the guy's taking a fall, and this is Potemkin, San Francisco, like they have in North Korea. I saw the Potemkin village in North Korea. You know that?
You bet. Wow, really?
Yeah. I saw it. I walked over the line. Then I have only this far.
And that's more than.
And then the colonel pulled me back. Said, they're going to shoot you. I didn't know that. I didn't see. I don't know if I would have done it if I had seen the guys on the North Korean side. Oh God, they must be like a couple of football fields away, and they've been there like since the end of the war. And the North Koreans faced the South Koreans, and they got guns pointed at each other. And every couple of years they shoot somebody just for practice, I guess. And
So
nobody flees to North Korea except that crazy American a couple of months ago who fled, who probably has been brainwashed and wanted to try to get back. And
can I ask when you were in North Korea, generally speaking?
if I can remember, it was when my daughter was doing Romeo and Juliet play. She was in
So
high
this
school.
was that flight? Is this the
She
same
was in
trip
high
where you had a
school.
flight?
She was in high school.
She's about my age, right? She's
Yeah, about
15 years ago?
2004, 2005.
20 years ago almost.
Yeah, 2006, about like that.
This was the same flight where you had a lot of turbulence? Is
Yeah.
that the same trip and you didn't know if you were going to make it, but you kept reading because...
No, that's a different flight.
Okay. 'cause-
At the same time, though.
So she must have played a few
No,
times.
she was in Romeo and Juliet for a couple of weeks.
Okay. So North Korea, wow.
She played Juliet. Caroline had the main role, playing with Sacred Heart and Regis High School. But I was there, and we went to the parallel and right up to the top of North. We got the wrong map here for it. We went right up to the top, and they showed me these. I don't know how you would describe them, lodges. They're rectangular in shape. They begin on the South Korean side, and in the middle they go over to the North Korean side. And this is where the two countries negotiate. So the North Koreans don't come into South Korea, and the South Koreans stay on the South Korean side of the table. It's right on the parallel.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, there's the parallel. You see it there. I can see the parallel. Now you're showing it to me. I don't know if you're showing
Second, yeah.
But so I sat there for the briefing that the military gave us. And then everybody broke up, walking around, looking at stuff. And I started walking over into the North Korean side, so I was technically in North Korea, but in the hut. And the colonel was okay with that. He said, other people have done this part. But I had to do something nobody else did. Of course, Trump did it then eventually, right? I opened the door, which wasn't locked. And I went out on their soil. And he comes and he grabs me literally by the back of the neck. He said, get back in here. He said, don't you see those people there? And I said, what people? And I looked again and up, I don't know how far away, maybe, as I said, about 2 football fields.
Yeah.
3 foot. There are these North Korean soldiers and they have machine guns pointed at the parallel. Now you look back of you and there are South Korean soldiers pointed at them. And I said, do they ever shoot at each other? He said, not for a long time. But every once in a while, somebody tries to escape, always from there to here, and they'll try to kill him. And sometimes they don't kill him; they just let him go. It depends on the day. And then they showed me the Potemkin village.
What's
Maybe I'll explain it. Maybe a couple of miles north of the border, there's a village that looks beautiful from where we are. It's lit up every night. It looks like Las Vegas. It looks like Las Vegas from far away, but there's nobody there. It's a complete show village. It's done to impress people, and that's gotten the name Potemkin Village. So basically, they're saying San Francisco's a Potemkin Village because for Z and Biden, and as soon as they go, all the bums and homeless and drug addicts and killers and murderers, and of course they did have a couple just today that was robbed in San Francisco. So, I mean, if this is the best they can do, they still have plenty of crime going on, even though Z is there. But this is a useless, ridiculous summit in which we're going to get hosed. Our national security will be jeopardized even more, and China will get more powerful. And he's going to give them consent. And this is the time to hold their feet to the fire. But that's what you get for electing a crooked president who's been bribed by them. I don't think I'd ever have imagined. There's a great picture you just had of exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, I can see the two, either American or South Korean soldiers with their backs to us, facing That's the Potemkin village. You just showed that. That's the I don't know which one you have up there, but there's no reason to spend too much time on this. That's not the. I don't know if are they watching?
No, that's me getting it
Okay.
behind the scenes and not
All
putting
right.
it up. Yeah.
So if we have time, we'll go back to that.
Okay.
Because I want to. We're actually spending too much time on something that is not only worthless, but it is harmful. This is going to harm the United States. The United States will make concessions here that are harmful to us. They're going to. He's going to do. He's going to do the thing that he shouldn't do. He's going to bail him out. He can bail Z out. But why wouldn't he? I mean, he's been paid off by them. This is an unthinkable situation. We've got a president whose family and he have been paid incredible, astronomical amounts of money by the other side of the table. I'm still here stunned by that. I'm stunned by it. I mean, you look at him and you say, what the hell are you do sitting there? Z must think we're incredibly stupid to have made him president. Do you think he knows that it was a stolen election? Do you think he participated in it?
Yeah, that's my. Who would he rather have, Trump or Biden?
I asked that as a question. I have no proof of that.
No.
So I'm not. Everything I said, I have proof of. And there's no question they stole the election. I mean, they stole it before it even started with covering up the hard drive. But did China have a role in it? I don't know. It sure benefited them. I mean, Trump was the first president tough on them. Were they rooting for Biden? Of course. I mean, they wouldn't have paid him all that money if they weren't rooting for him. I wonder how many others they've paid money to. They wouldn't have bet on only one horse.
Let's we see one more clip of the two men walking together. Who's in better shape? You tell me.
Well, I mean, everybody's in better shape.
Close. Ready. Cut. Ready. Face. Forward.
President Biden, what's your message? What's your message to China today?
Walking along. There's one where they're walking along and he looks like Mr. Straight Legs.
I'm gonna look for that one. Yeah.
And then there was one I thought I saw him go.
He was like falling asleep at the one we showed earlier where he's at the table.
Yeah, but I didn't see him falling asleep there.
We'll try to find that one.
But if we can find it, that's okay. But I mean, it'd almost be better if he fell asleep. What the hell? I mean, he's only just going to give away. There's no. I mean, he's going in there with no demands. The idea that he's going to do more about fentanyl is an insult. It's like you promise and get three more things. So he's working real hard to see if he can stop Israel from winning this war. You know that. For all the credit that he's getting for supporting Israel, I mean, he's not supporting Israel. I mean, he based pressure on Bibi to do a ceasefire. Bibi told him, I imagine, in a very nice way, to go to hell. Now he's looking. I mean, he has him doing those pauses. Yesterday, his only comment was that Israel should be less intrusive. Somehow it doesn't seem to bother him that Hamas takes human beings and puts them in front to get killed. And now it's been demonstrated with pictures of the Al-Sharifa hospital that they do. I mean, there are pictures of that. You can see it. That is a violation of, international law. It's a violation of the law of war. It's a violation of American law. Did you know that? There's something called the Shields Law, and the president is required to put sanctions on countries that do that. And nobody even talks about it because it'd be ridiculous for him to put sanctions on the side that he's favoring, the one that he's trying to give hundreds of millions to, or in the case of Iran, billions. So he tells Israel to be less intrusive, and he tells Hamas nothing. Nor does he help Israel in the explanation to the public that it's not their fault that any of these civilians die. I heard Dan Senor on Newsmax before, and he made a great analogy. I wish I had thought of it, but Dan's a very smart guy. And he said to Bob Schmidt, he said, suppose Ukraine was attacking an area that Russia had taken in Ukraine, right? Major city. And suppose the Russians lined up children in the town and the women in front of them. And in order to get to the Russians who were shooting and killing the Ukrainians on the other side, they had to shoot the Russians and do the best they could, but they did hit some of the women and children. Would the outcry be against Ukraine, or would the outcry be against Putin? I mean, there's no question it'd be against Putin, right? So this is just a question of completely political prejudice and communist propaganda. These civilians are dying because of Hamas, not because of Israel. They're dying because Hamas went into Israel and raped it, committed unspeakable acts of terror. And Israel can only, and it isn't a matter of even taking revenge for it. It's a matter of making sure it doesn't happen again. I'd be damned if I were head of that country if I'd let them ever have a chance to do that to me again. You do it once, that's it. Never again. Never again means wiping them out. And if they can put children in front of them, you can do the best you can not to hit those children. And Israel has gone way beyond what they had to do. Way beyond. I don't think there's any, I don't think we would do this in a war. We would warn them. We would warn them, but if they were shooting and killing us, we'd shoot and kill them. And I also don't believe anything about the children casualties that are put out by Hamas. Why would you believe Hamas? Why? They're a terrorist group. It's like, why would you believe Z? Communists are supposed to lie. Right. Marx tells them to lie. There are a group around Biden that are Marxist, I'm sure. Like they were around Roosevelt, they were communists and destroyed us and got us into a Cold War. But I also think there are a lot of really stupid people around Biden. You can't be smart and work for Biden because Biden is stupid. I couldn't work for Biden. I couldn't possibly work for a man that's so stupid. And there are people I don't think who work for Biden who don't know how to think. They don't have the faculty of thinking. But why would you trust Z? He is a dedicated communist. It's like, in our religion, the Christian religion, or the Catholic, but a Christian, right? And I'm a part of the Judeo-Christian tradition, 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not lie, right? We're not supposed to lie. Now, do we lie sometimes? Yeah, we do. Some of us do. I mean, we commit sins. But we're not supposed to lie. Here's the difference. They are. They are. In pursuance of communist domination, which is the greater good, they are allowed to and encouraged to lie by Marx, by everyone who's written on communism. So why would you take their word for anything? That's why Reagan, who actually, was a very smart man, came up with the explanation of trust, but verify. Meaning, don't trust a damn thing they say unless it's proven. which means they don't get anything for reducing fentanyl until they reduce fentanyl, because you've got to assume they're not going to do it. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about we're going to talk about Israel and what has happened there and where things are, and then move on to how the cases against Trump are falling apart. Towers Foundation delivers on its promise to do good and never forget the sacrifices America's greatest heroes have made for us. Heroes who risked their lives to keep our communities and our country safe. Heroes like United States Marine Corps Captain and pilot John Jeremy Sachs. Captain Sachs sustained fatal injuries when his military aircraft crashed during training, killing him and 5 other service members. He's remembered by loved ones as courageous, brilliant, and devoted to his career, family, and friends. John is survived by his wife, Amber, who gave birth to their second daughter 3 months after his death. Tunnel to Towers paid the mortgage on the family home for Amber and their 2 daughters. The foundation has helped over 1,000 military and first responder families navigate the worst of times by removing the burden of a mortgage payment. Our nation's heroes and their families need your help now more than ever. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. T2T.org. That's T, the number 2T.org. T2T.org. Please donate now. Enough? Well, back. There you are, all back. We were just having a little private conversation with the Instagram people. The Getter people are now, they are now on Restream, which means they get the complete broadcast. Only one we got left to get on his Instagram. And they got to give us some kind of permission or something or whatever. We're going to get that, Ted? We're going to get that permission? Or are they doing it because they don't like us?
That's the plan. So if Instagram is
they don't
listening,
like us?
the same
Because
folks as
they're
Facebook.
censoring
So
us?
they let us on Facebook. You think they'd let us on. Here's Getter if you want to see it.
So that's really nice that's happening.
Getter. Pretty clean, huh?
So what did they do, the T2T commercial?
Yep. Getter now gets everything.
Okay, so you make sure now.
Getter is seeing what everybody
you
else
make sure
sees.
you all make your contribution to Tunnel to Towers. This is the time to do it because Christmas time is coming, and this is when they have their special. In fact, I'll find out when they want to release it, but I did a recording for them today for a radio ad for their Season of Hope. So I'll do that for you extemporaneously. You don't have to have one of those recordings. I love Tunnel to Towers. You got to understand, it's a labor of love. They build those homes for the people who protect us, people who are treated horribly by Biden and this Defense Department. So the Israelis are making a tremendous amount of progress with every obstacle imaginable. Originally this invasion was supposed to be 200,000 to 300,000 troops go over the border, wipe out Hamas. And you lose less people if you do it that way because you engage all of Hamas out of the tunnels, and once you get rid of everybody that you can get out, then you can worry surgically on how you're going to deal with the tunnels and the hospitals where they have civilians protecting them, which is outrageous that it's painted as it is civilians. Hamas wants to kill the civilians. Not only that, Hamas is killing some of the civilians when they run away. And there's footage of that. Holding white flags. Boom. And they kill them. So this is Israel, right? Here's the little Gaza Strip, right? There's the city of Gaza right there. So that's what they mean by the north, right? There's northern Gaza. Right here would be sort of the dividing line. There's a road that goes all the way through, right here, to the border of Egypt. If you're Palestinian, you can't get over because the Egyptians want no Palestinians in, they want none, zero, no Palestinians in Egypt. And same thing with, you see, Amman, Jordan. You ain't getting in there if you're a Palestinian either. They want us, the suckers, America, to take the people they won't take because they're too dangerous. I mean, they're trained, they're brainwashed from day one to kill Jews and Americans, even other Arabs they don't like. I don't know. But they sure as hell won't take them in Jordan. They won't take them in, no, not a single one. They won't take them in Egypt. And they won't take them in Iran. Will give them money, but they don't want them. So they are fleeing to the south. Down here, there's the border. There's about where the main entry to Egypt is, about right here. But they're not allowed over. But they're down. I don't know the exact number that have fled from the north to the south. At some points, I've seen it estimated as high as 1 million. Could be. And whatever is left up here are the people who didn't leave and Hamas. And here's the unknown factor in this war. They have pretty much control of the ground in Gaza. They are taking control of Al Shifa Hospital, and they're doing it carefully. They are not bombing it and killing the patients. They are not even assaulting it massively. They're assaulting it carefully where they're engaged. They try to take out the people who are the Hamas people. They've had some civilian casualties because they surround themselves with civilians, but far less than anybody thought. And then you've got to discount from that the ones that Hamas kills, because Israel takes pauses every day to allow evacuation of civilians and patients who are allowed to head to southern Gaza. And those are the ones that have been killed by Hamas. So basically, Israel now controls this. And it controls this, meaning they control the road, and now much more than the road, the entire 7 miles. Because that's basically it. This is about 7 miles from the border with Israel to the Mediterranean. That's all it is, 7 miles. And I think you've got basically Israel controlling the movement to south. I guess the movement from south to north as well, because they're not going to let anybody move from south to north. Real question now is, and we'll find out over the next couple of days, what does Hamas have underground? Because they're going to be fleshed out now. And where are the hostages? Alive? Sullivan, who to me looks like he's 12 years old, except he's committed the crimes that would be committed by an adult, including against trying to illegally remove him from office and lied. And I mean, Sullivan's a horrible guy and useless guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about most of the time. But he let out the other day, he's not sure if our hostages are alive. And of course, we've gotten I don't think that we've gotten any proof that they're alive. Usually in a hostage negotiation, in order to encourage the people to pay the ransom, right? They give you proof that the person's alive. Well, we haven't had that. They did have a Princeton student. Her name is Elizabeth Surkov. She's an Israeli-Russian citizen, and but she's studying political science at Princeton, and she is a hostage. She was kidnapped, and but she was taken by Hezbollah. So she would be, if she was taken by Hezbollah, she would then be in the north. Hezbollah operates. I don't know if you can we. We're going to have to move the map down to show them Hezbollah, like that. We got to go north. We got to go north in Israel, way up here to Lebanon and Syria. This is where Hezbollah operates, up here. Up here. So Elizabeth, I guess, unless Hezbollah is operating in Gaza, I doubt it. She was taken. She was kidnapped, Israeli Russian, and as I said, a student at Princeton. And she was put on. She was put on. They did a clip with her on Monday, and she could die, and also warning people that Israel hostages will be killed if Israel continues its stupidly run war. What Hamas did in doing that is also a violation of human rights, a violation of specific laws and rules that surround the conduct of prisoners and the treatment of prisoners, and it's a crime for which they should be prosecuted. Nobody even raises it. I mean, obviously, this girl was tortured or otherwise coerced into doing this. You're not allowed to use prisoners as props. This woman was used as a prop and confessing to be a spy. Now, how likely is it that a Princeton student is a spy who's been kidnapped? Of course, it's completely unlikely, and Hamas, like the communists, lies. I don't know. I don't think we were able to get a copy of a tape of her. Were we, Ted? Of Elizabeth Surkov.
Well, which one was her? Oh, we're working on that one. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have that one yet. No.
Elizabeth Surkov was the student kidnapped.
Yes. Yeah. We're working.
Who was a Princeton University student. And the other now is an Israeli soldier, but she's only 19 years old. Her name is Noah Marciano, and she was taken on October 7th, on the day of the massive terrorist attack, and they eventually put her on television on Monday. I guess it was their big television day to torture the hostages and misuse them. And Corporal Marciano also pleaded with the Israeli military to stop bombing the area. Again, the laws of war, international law, obviously psychological terrorism. And then the video, after you see her pleading, dead body. They've killed her already. And we have thousands and thousands of people cheering for them. I mean, these are like the Roman citizens that were in the Colosseum cheering for Christians. What's going on here? These people are, they live in a bubble of some kind, a communist bubble, Ivy League bubble. This girl's a 19-year-old girl. Okay, she's a soldier. The other girl is a civilian. She's a soldier. They take her. They misuse her. They have her. I mean, however they do it, they use psychological terrorism to get her to make a plea. And then at some point they show you a picture of a dead body. Well, our hearts go out to the Marciano family and our prayers to you. And this should not happen to anyone. I've seen too much terrorism. When my city was attacked, I didn't know how to explain to people. You know, I knew how to explain it to the firefighters and the police officers because they died, you know, trying to save people, and the heroism of it was breathtaking. But I didn't know how to the family of the guy who was delivering coffee that morning, who got killed by the Islamic extremist terrorists. And do you know how few people are willing to say Islamic extremist terrorism? And do you realize that Obama is the one who got us to stop saying it? And do you also realize that's the reason we're in the predicament we are in today? Because we haven't confronted it properly, because we've empowered Iran. Obama directly empowered Iran. He is an investor in Iran. He's invested in the people. If that isn't anti-Semitic, I don't know what is. Calling names and saying bad words is pretty bad. But giving them hundreds of millions of dollars to eliminate the Jewish people is a lot worse. The man is historically will go down in history as one of the minds for the contribution that he made to the country that is dedicated to the elimination of the Jewish people. Who the hell would do that? And who the hell would let him get away with it?
Well, we're just seconds away from having we can play that video, Mayor.
Of Corporal Marciano?
Nope. We have the Princeton student.
Pardon me?
The Princeton
student. Okay, the Russian Israeli
and we'll
student
try to get this
who God willing is still alive.
Okay. Ready?
And she's being held by head. We don't. I saw a picture of her. I don't know if everybody else.
I want to let you finish speaking.
Well, go ahead. Put her on. Her name.
שמי אליזבת סורקוב, אני אזרחית ישראלית, גילי עוד מעט יהיה 37.
Well, my dear, our prayers to you. We understand whatever you had to say, you had to say. John McCain is the one who told me that no one ultimately can, if they find the right button to push. So nothing, you did nothing wrong. They're the animals. And Russia's helping them. This is a Russian girl. And Russia's helping them. What kind of human being is Putin? Well, the only problem with Putin is there's no consistency here. Putin is no worse and no better than the rest of them. In fact, some of them, I don't know if you can say worse. I think Hamas is worse, but by degrees. They're all extremely evil. They all have bad intentions for my people, which is my first concern, Americans. And then they have bad intentions for the rest of the people of the world. That's my second obligation. Well, Elizabeth, I hope to God that that you make it out of there and back to Princeton and continue your studies. And this becomes a traumatic experience. And I hope our American hostages are alive. But I mean, Biden has dicked around so long with this that if they are, it's a miracle. How do you continue to tolerate him as president and not demand that your congressman remove him? I mean, this guy doesn't even talk about the hostages. On day one, he should have made a demand for them. On day one, he should have told Iran, I'm dopey. Yeah, he is. I know you control this. So I expect them back in 2 days. And if they're not back in 2 days, don't hold me responsible for what I have to do to you. You're responsible for it. And neither is your organization or your people and I will dedicate myself to eliminating you from the face of the earth. So get my people back now. You want to test me? Test me. You got to have the guts to do that if you want to be a president, because the lives of other people are in your hands. It's not a game. It's not a stupid ideological battle. It's life and death. And our great presidents knew how to protect us. Our weak presidents didn't. I don't think we've ever had a president who's a traitor. We may now. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Our device is something that you can plug into your television, and now you can use your television as a social television type experience. So in the Portal universe, you can watch your favorite content creators' videos, live streams, music. We also have TV subscriptions as well.
Subscriptions.
You can also
regular channels, all the sports.
Right, you can actually cut your cable from your cable subscription and get QUX TV on our QX TV boxes, and you can pay half the price that you're currently paying for your cable television subscription, and you can get all the best premium TV channels and more. I mean, it's really, there's so much on there, Rudy. I mean, you've seen it.
No, I've seen it and I use it, and it's good. I mean, it's just exactly the same except for half the price. Plus, nobody is finding out what I'm watching. And that's not being reported to anybody.
Right, so you have absolute privacy using this device, which you don't have on other devices out there currently on the market.
This is absolutely great. QUX.TV is how you can find out about it. QUX.TV.
Use promo code RUDY to receive $30 off.
Now, make sure that you go to QUX.TV, promo code Rudy, get your box. Nice little price, about $50, right? Get a nice discount. Promo code Rudy.
When you do your hands, it's zooming in and out of the camera.
And then, I know my hands are moving around. And then you'll be able to get every station, and you'll be private. They can't dig up all this information on you. And you'll be able to get not just Newsmax, and you can see us on Newsmax. You can watch us tomorrow night on Newsmax, and you'll see the way they do it is they edit this and put a few other things in. They play tomorrow. Tomorrow they'll play today's show. So we'll be on Newsmax. And of course, you can get us on any of the others. Even when we're off, you can go watch us on Getter, which is now, as I said, part of the Restream. And you can get us on X, and you can get us on everything, every place. Every place. And you should stuff that other people don't give you because they keep it from you. I have a bone to pick, and then we're going to go and show you the. I got a bone to pick with a columnist from the Wall Street Journal named William A. Goldstone, because today he accused Trump of, if he becomes president, a second term Trump, effective than a first, it sends shivers through those who fear as I do. He would trigger the biggest threat to constitutional government since the Civil War, that he'd use the Insurrection Act to take over the country. I don't know. This guy writes for the Wall Street Journal. He doesn't look like a hippie. This is the guy who a week ago said Biden has a lot of time to work his way out of the problems he's in with the polls. One thing Biden doesn't have, asshole. The one thing the guy doesn't have, jerk, is time. Have you looked at him? I want you to evaluate this insurrection column based on the one from last week when he said that Biden has a lot of time to work his way out of the polls. You think time is going to help Biden? What's he going to get younger? Do you understand, Trump demented idiot, that he has dementia? That's not political. I don't wish it on him. He's got it. And if you don't realize it, you're ignorant, stupid, and unable to observe, and you shouldn't be writing columns for a major newspaper. And to say he's got time, he does not have time. Time is against him, jerk. And Trump is not going to take over this country by the military. To suggest that is disgraceful. And I know that firsthand because I know how he feels about that. And I've seen it tested, you jerk. They think they can say anything they want about Trump. I know under circumstances that nobody would ever have you involved in because you're too stupid, that Trump in a million years wouldn't use the military unless, God forbid, it was absolutely necessary to protect us. And then he wouldn't be afraid to use it like the demented nitwit that you have in the White House right now. Eisenhower used the military so we'd be desegregated. He understands if it should be used under the most unbelievable circumstances, and unless, God forbid, these communists decided to invade us or do something like that. So now let's look at, I don't know.
Do you want me to set this up for you, Mayor?
Yeah, I wish I was there. I want to get a front row seat with this. You know, I saw Trump go to that boxing match, and I felt bad. But this would be better than that boxing match that he went to.
This is Senator Mark Wayne Mullen nearly coming to blows with Teamster General President Sean O'Brien, who's been trash talking the lawmaker online.
What a sissy!
Notice Bernie Sanders'
what
role.
a sissy Bernie! Socialists are all sissies. What a sissy Bernie! That'd have been great. They had it up there.
So we'll end on this and call it a night.
Yeah,
how does that sound?
People could have been betting. $10 on him, $10 on him.
Ready? Let's
watch this. This is great.
Long hours. Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your
Sorry.
solution every
Hold
poll?
it. No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond? Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it. Hold it. If
Hold
we
on.
can't, no,
This is
I have
what
the
he
mic.
said.
I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing. And God knows the American people have enough of contempt for Congress. Let's not
I don't
make
like
it worse.
thugs and bullies.
You have,
And that's
you
what-
And I don't like you because you
Hold
just
it.
described yourself.
Hold it. You have the mic. You have time.
All right.
Make your statement.
Then let's do this, because I did challenge you, and I accepted your challenge, and you went quiet.
No, I didn't go quiet.
Hold on.
You challenged me to a cage match,
No,
acting like a
sir.
12-year-old schoolyard
Hold it.
bully.
Excuse me.
Hold on.
Hold it. No, excuse me. I have the
I
mic.
will say exactly.
Senator
what you
Mullen,
said.
I have the mic. You have questions on any economic issues, anything that said, go for it. We're not here to talk about physical abuse.
You brought.
We're not
him
talking
in.
about, of course I did.
And let me show you his hearing, because I want to expose this thug to who he is. And
Could you not point at me? That's disrespectful.
All right.
I don't care about respecting you at all. I
don't
respect people
respect
that I
you at all.
respect. So
All right, hold
let
it.
me
Hold it. No,
You're one of
no,
100 of the most
hold
elite
it,
people.
please.
Act it.
Please. All right. This is excuse me.